Welcome back to Breslov campus. Regarding how Rebbe Nachman stresses so much and how he explains this idea that a person must toil to find his good points and also other people's good points. Rebbe Nachman uses a verse from Tehillim, Psalms, which reads like this: Ve'od me'at ve'ein rasha ve'itbonanta al mekomo ve'enenu. Rebbe Nachman explains this verse like this. The translation is Ve'od me'at, and with a little bit more, the wicked is no longer. See his place, and he's no longer there. So Rebbe Nachman explains like this: Od me'at, a little bit more, refers to a little bit more of good that a person finds in himself, a good point. It's called the good point. Od me'at, because the nature of a good point is to be small, and the nature of the bad points is to be a lot. When a person is overwhelmed by bad, like you're so bad, the person begins to think about himself, oh, I didn't do this, and I'm not like this, and I'm lacking this. The nature of bad is to attack a person with a lot. It's a lot, it's like a wave and like a current of a storm of bad things, of negative things, one thing after the next. And that's the way the negative feeling brings down a person. Depresses a person, makes him feel out of it, no strength, tired, drained, futile. The good points, however, are tiny dots. They're little. And what's the trick here is that to focus on the little bit of good amongst the abundance of badness. And so it's why it's called me'at, it's a little bit, but it's also called a little bit more, because one point won't necessarily be enough to save you. It has that enough energy to do so, but what's needed is to collect another good point. Because what happens when a person begins to try to focus on his good points, he begins to see a new vista that things are not as bad as he thought they are. Because the negativity is coming on a person. This is wrong, and that is wrong, and this is wrong, and it's a lot. And when a person stops from this being convinced and listening to the bad, he says, wait a minute, there's this good point. And he focuses on it, and then opens his eyes to see, but not just this good point is good, there's another good point, there's another good point, there's another good point. It helps a person to realize it's not as bad as he thought it was, due to this wave and this current, this storm of negativity, of bad points coming to a person. So Rebbe Nachman goes back to explain, ve'od me'at, and with a little bit more, ve'ein rasha, the person is no longer wicked. Because again, the tendency, the attitude of the negative points is to make a person feel bad about himself. You're a loser, you're a nobody, you're such a wicked person, such a bad person. That's the subconscious message coming to a person. So what's needed is to block that by focusing on the good. So he says, ve'od me'at, and with a little bit more of good, finding another drop of good, ve'ein rasha, the person is no longer bad as he thought he was, or as people tell him maybe, right? Ein rasha, v'itbonanta al mekomo. Now look at his place. He may have been maybe an authentic, genuine, wicked person, but now the joy and the meaning of life and fulfillment that he gains by finding the good helps him tip the scale that he's no longer on the side of being a wicked person. He's now looking already to be a good person, and by the fact that he's trying to find his good points to lift himself up, he's already he's already no longer a wicked person. And that's what the verse is saying. Hitbonanta al mekomo. Take a look at his place where this wicked person, if you want to call him wicked, he's no longer there anymore. He's moved over. Rebbe Nachman stresses that when a person does bad, don't pay attention to the negative thoughts after doing the bad. Rather, get up and start again in doing good. Because that a person sinned is one thing, but the negativity he feels after the sin is another thing, and that has to be avoided. That is not a mitzvah to embrace oh, I'm such a bad person, I did this and I that. There's no mitzvah embracing that. When the person did something wrong, so he has to get up and fix it by doing tshuva. But not now focusing on the bad. There's regret. Initial regret means I regret doing it. And now you start already changing. But to focus on the negative and I'm now making yourself a conclusion, I'm such a bad person, I'm such a this, it's never going to work out, I'm finished and this and this and that. There's no mitzvah in the Torah to behave like that. And that attitude will definitely keep a person down. So what's needed is to get out of it. That's what Rebbe Nachman teaches, of focusing on the good. And focusing on the good is for looking for a tiny drop, a dot. That dot is what you're looking for, and from there to build. Because again, the bad comes overwhelming. This is not working out, this is not good, this is not good, a lot. And you're looking now, not to look for a general picture, but to look for a point, and from that point, to come back to Hashem.